Hello everybody. Today we will be in Phoenix Journal number 2. They called his name Emmanuel, and we'll be starting with chapter 2. We went over chapter 1 mainly in the Talmud of Emmanuel, which is pretty well what this is. It just has a little more commentary on the beginnings of it, which we're going to go over. It'll be Dharma first speaking. So let's get into it. Chapter 2, I am present, Dharma. Let us continue with our writings. I'll relinquish to Judas Iscariot, that I may have translation of the words of the scrolls. You ones must recall that in any given experience, the circumstances existing at that time is of most importance to keep in thy minds. It is easy to look back and see how it could have, or would have, been different. It is the story told and happening at the time that is important in this circumstance, for such erroneous tales have been told and exaggerated through the time passage. Think, if your newspapers can mix up two names in an interview on my front page, what if 2,000 years ago, as word went by camel, caravan, by gossip? We come now to set the record to right. Too much damage has been done unto ones in my name, and it shall stop, for you ones are being destroyed by evil. Thy own media presentations are completely filled with the stories, and ye only get perhaps 1/1000th of any news about thy globe. Further, that comes from pre-selected stories or versions thereof, cleared by a central news service. Do you actually think that would be headline news were I to walk with Sister Eleanor, 30 minutes in full embodiment? Of course not. So come out of thy fantasy world of silly dreams and let us get on with the truth. Let us put the basically incorrect myths to rest with the truth in brief format that are prepared to enjoy and learn from thy brothers of the cosmos, who will come forth soon to assist you, who have petitioned unto me and our Father for assistance. Ye of earth have asked in prayerful searching for help in thy time of violence and moral decay. Ye shall have it. How did you perceive it would come? Really think about it. How did you think it would come forth? Ye no longer have the ability for facilities upon earth to reverse of it. So, how did you believe it would come to you? So be it. I stand aside to honor Dharma, that you and Judas might script blessings upon the word. And this is pretty well written similar how the book of Matthew is, and this is the original New Testament of Matthew, but it was originally written by Judas Iscariot. Just going to put that out there. John the Baptist. Let us speak firstly of the one in thy book, referred to as John the Baptist. None knew then, nor now, from whence came the one, John the Baptist. For he was brought there to prepare the way for the young Emmanuel, who would achieve his mastery. The whole land was laid throughout with evil persecution. Beloved friends who read of the words this day of your year 1989 can have no conception. You look upon thy picture Christmas cards and see whatever you wish to see. It was a sordid and cruel time in the world at the coming of Christos, Master. You can find of good in little pockets of existence in any time format in history. But back to the scrolls. The next few years of young Emmanuel were spent in and about Nazareth, while he grew in his physical way, with his family, which also grew in number during those years. I will effort at keeping to the facts and point of discussion. However, so will not, at this time, enlarge upon other than of circumstances which related directly to Emmanuel in major magnitude, that differs great degree from what you have been told. At that time there came one, John the Baptist, who went about the country teaching and preaching. He preached mostly in gatherings along the banks of the Jordan River, at the edge of the desert. No one knew from where he had come, nor when he had arrived. He did, however, begin to draw rather large crowds, for he preached the baptism according to the old laws of God, in the way according to which the path to knowledge was to be prepared. And he preached that the laws had to be followed, because he, God, was the only ruler for the human race, but that above God was the creation. creator of the worlds, the universes, and all things alive. He also preached that all things are alive. He told that the creation is without gender, neither male nor female, was the secret of all secrets, death and life, the light and darkness, being and non-existence, and that God the Lord, the ruler of his human race, and those who travel from afar, the celestial sons, hold the creation in most high esteem above all other and all else. All over Judea, the people of Jerusalem went to John acknowledging the ancient laws of God, and allowed themselves to be baptized by him in the river Jordan. John told them it was not the ritual itself that made any difference, but only that it represented cleansing and acceptance. It washed the darkened energies from the auric field around the body, that the positive energy field of light could establish itself. And water changes electrical patterns, brethren. You must keep this up and uppermost in thy scientific activities. John came forth as a most simple being, who wore a simple robe of woven camel hair, and clutched it with a belt of camel leather about his loins. His food was also simple, for he ate little other than wild honey and locusts. He explained to the people that the locusts did feed on the grain crops. The substance taken within the locust was converted to a most worthy food supply. He showed them that the locust did not need to represent a destructive pest, but rather a food supply of great value, which converted the simple food stuff into a body-sustaining whole food. He further told them that the honey gathered from all the wild bees gave energy upon which the body could instantly draw strength. And as the wild bees gathered the dust from the wild plants, they brought forth a variety of worthy food supply into the honey. Further, the unused dust was brought forth into the hive, and was also a most wondrous food supplement. As always is the case of history, man takes that which pleases him, and discards that which he despises. Were man to come to balance and partake of these pests which abound, ye would not be plagued by famine and starvation. Ponder it, brethren. As John anointed by immersion in the river, many of the people there also came, many Pharisees and Sadducees, to him, taunting and ridiculing him, with malicious shoutings and speeches. But John spoke, "You breed of vipers, who told you that you could escape from the future wrath? Once your false teachings is recognized, watch and bring forth fruit of repentance and teach the truth. Turn from the evil of your own false teaching, done with arrogance, and from the motives of power and profit. Do not think that you will say amongst each other, we will have Abraham as a father. I tell you, with his knowledge and power, God is able to turn these stones into children, because he knows the secret of the creation. The axe has already been laid at the root of the trees. Therefore, the tree which brings forth bad fruit will be hewn down and thrown into the fire. You breed of vipers, in 2,000 years, you and your descendants who teach falsely, serving your own pride from the motives of power and profit, shall be punished and destroyed because of your lies." This goes for preachers too. It's been no different now. When the human race begins to know and separates the wheat from the chaff, when your false teachings are laughed at, and the human race finds the truth, when the human race builds singing lights and fire machines, which fly in the skies and beyond, and within which the humans can ride forth into space and beyond. I mean, I ask you, has it been 2,000 years and has this come to pass? As is done by God and his following, the celestial sons, who teach us wisdom and the knowledge of the creation, who urge us to obey the law of nature, and to live in accordance and in balance with it. Then shall ye reap the rewards and harvest of thine lies and evil works ye have thrust upon these beloved peoples. And make a little point here. What we're talking about nowadays, it's not just talking about planes, submarines, and ships. It's also talking about UFOs, as we so call them. We shoot them down. We took the research. It's been since the 30s we've had some of this stuff known. And we already have the technology. Just putting that out there. So if we ever have a fake alien invasion, it's more likely our people, because these are bound by cosmic law, and they're not like that. Well, they're going to make it look like these people done it. Get away from this place, ye faithless breed of vipers. Get away from this place, for ye are impure and cursed in your false teachings. Get away from this place, for I can, by my own accord, baptize you to repentance with only water. But he who comes after me is stronger than I, and I am not worthy to take off his shoes. He will baptize you with the knowledge of the Spirit, and with the fire of truth. He will come forth with his shovel in hand, and he will sweep his threshing floor, and gather the wheat in his warehouse. But he will burn the chaff with the fire that cannot be extinguished. For the light can never resist truth, which destroys evil in its fire. He will come forth times two, for his first coming will be for his own lessons, that he shall be able to pass his initiations, and come to the full of inheritance. And then he shall come, and all these evil things shall be banished from this land. Mark those words. The baptism of Emmanuel. And we'll stop right there. We'll be starting back with the baptism of Emmanuel.